Seems like that's blackjack. And I only bust once. Reach 21 in blackjack. Got an achievement. Thank you for your time, Dr. Sato. We all appreciate it. But it does seem we're still in the dark about many details regarding Dr. Ash's death, wouldn't you say? Well, poisoning via the compound we're calling Delta is still the most likely explanation. So there are other explanations for what happened. Defense is calling for speculation, Your Honor. It's not speculation when a medical examiner is attempting to explain the cause of death, Your Honor. The witness will answer the question. Well, respiratory failure can be caused by illnesses. If he had undiagnosed pneumonia or some other disease and his respiratory system was weakened. Undiagnosed pneumonia with his level of healthcare? No, it is technically possible. I'll take it. I have no more questions for this witness. Oh, that felt weak, but I can't be picky when I'm stalling for time. Seeding doubt wherever I can, however I can, is just about all I can manage. Detective Reyes, you are one of the leads in investigating this crime scene. Yes, Mom. And did you interview the EMTs who first arrived on the scene? I did. They responded to an emergency signal from the home security console located in the kitchen. What did they find when they arrived on the scene? The victim was unconscious on the floor of his parlour. He was receiving CPR from a witness, the individual who called them. They were both airlifted to Gatesfield Memorial Hospital, and Dr. Ash was declared dead shortly after arriving there. She's actually handling herself pretty well up on the stand. I half expected her to roll her eyes during the swearing in. But when you take into consideration her love for Boot Hill authority, she might be right at home here in the courtroom, the very seat of the state's power over the people. The witness met with the deceased about half an hour before he fell ill from 7:30 to 8 p.m. The two of them talked for some time and shared a drink. Shortly after, Dr. Asher became distracted, lightheaded, and eventually non-responsive. And during the same time period, drinking the same liquor, this witness exhibited no symptoms themselves? None. Through a collaborative effort with Noble Electronic Security Division, we searched the entire building, but we found nothing unusual in the way of food or drink on the premises, including the bottle that the witness and the deceased drank from. So what was your ultimate conclusion after investigating the scene? The whiskey bottle was clean, the witness's drink was clean. Only person who got sick was Dr. Asher, drinking from a cup that he'd prepared. So it was our determination that Dr. Asher committed suicide by poisoning himself. She's pretty tight-lipped up there, but I think she slipped up at least once. I mean, the time wasn't perfect. The police want to claim they've eliminated every other possibility and covered every angle, but I know that there are a number of blind spots that they're not willing to admit to. The upright cup. David's cup. The poison. Yeah, they didn't find the poison. Alright, it's going to keep looping, so I'm going to just... There was no opportunity for the witness to ever slip him something. That is... yeah. He drank from a cup that he himself poisoned. That's speculation. Seems pretty cut and dry if you ask me. Just to be sure, we scanned the kitchen, the lab, the basement. And there was no poison anywhere else. Well, there's no poison anywhere. She slipped up there and made a claim she can't actually support. All I need to do is point it out, and then I'll get to watch her self-destruct, which should be fun. Met with the witness. Hang on, can I can't check my evidence during this. He's the one who prepared their drinks. Alright, I'm calling here. Sorry, I jumped in there. Shit, what? Oh god, I didn't even have time to fucking look at my options. Hang on. Right, I jumped in. Oh god, they're so punishing, high roller mode. I jumped him because she said he himself poisoned, but there's no evidence for that because there is no footage, but none of the options said that. I guess his cup? Damn. Lose your train of thought? Let me find it for you. Bugger, I lost 6 for that. Back on track? Definitely, Your Honour. Piss. There's the upright cup, David's cup, and the poison. Thing is, I don't know what the exact bloody nature of these things are. Oh god, the blind's gone up. Ugh. He's the one who prepared their drinks. That's... yeah, I agree with that. There was no opportunity for the witness to ever slip him something. Yes, I think so. He drank from a cup he himself poisoned. She can't prove that, but... I can't disprove it. Cut and dry if you ask me. That's just her opinion. We scanned the kitchen, the lab, the basement. I think it's this one. There was no poison anywhere else. It's got to be there's no poison. They didn't find poison. Oh yeah, sorry. I've just remembered something. When I was editing the previous thing, something occurred to me. And I think it was a point that I missed in the previous session. And it was when Sarah went on that ramble about a story. You know, she told a story about, like, a man who robbed a bank, a really muscly man robbed a bank, and then afterwards sort of poofed back to normal and didn't have any recollection of it. And I think the point of that story, which I missed in the moment, was it was saying Sarah can do things without remembering them. And they even hinted at it later on when Morgan was like, I could tell her to wipe her memory, but I'm not going to. So I think what that is saying is that the last time David accessed the safe room, it was he did activate Sarah, but she wasn't aware of it. She doesn't have the memory of it. Therefore, he could have got her to do something, such as move a very heavy thing, and in the process accidentally drop it, causing the crack in the floor, and therefore something could be hidden somewhere very, very heavy that no one else could gain access to. It could be, maybe it's like an updated will or something, because they've mentioned that a couple of times. So I reckon there's going to be something hidden. It's got to be around the weights, because there's nothing else. Like, I grabbed this still of the area, but there's nothing here. Like, there are no obvious, like, heavy things sat on the floor, like a pile of weights or whatever, you know? I have to conclude that it's sort of hidden somewhere around the weights, but I don't know where. But yeah, that's my theory for what the crack was and what the point of the story was. Anyway, I'm gonna have to make a gamble on this because I don't really know. Oh no, 7:30 to 8:03. I guess that was accurate. Sorry, I thought that he went. Sorry, I thought that she arrived at 7:40, but no. In that case, it has to be that there was no more poison. I'm gonna have to take a gamble on it, so we can actually see the insight that it's gonna call out. He's the one who prepared their drinks. I mean, there was no one else. There was no opportunity for the witness. Yes, I agree. He drank from a cup that he himself poisoned. I could call on that one. There's nothing to call there. We scanned the kitchen, the lab, and the basement. There was no poison anywhere else. Calling that one. Wanna bet? Oh, fuck. That's cute, Counselor. You almost made a salient point. Do I get points for that? Boy, I hope not. Otherwise, I wouldn't get to do this. Overruled. Fuck's sake, I'm not doing well here. It's got to be the cup that he himself poisoned, because it's speculation. That's the only thing. It's the only thing I have left. God, I'm not doing well with this. Cup that he himself poisoned. Calling that David's cup. Okay. You can't make that claim, not when the evidence record clearly shows that tests of Dr. Ash's cup were inconclusive. The police can't claim he drank from a poisoned cup without first proving the cup was in fact poisoned. You're talking a lot of sense, lady. Does it resolve, or do you have a response, D.A. Rockford? Testing on the deceased cup has been inconclusive so far, Your Honour. I don't dispute that. Though I'd be surprised if the defence has any idea how else the poison could have been delivered to Dr. Asher alone. Not at this time, but the funny thing about the burden of proof, it's not on the defence. As we're all aware. Right, we all knew that. I definitely knew that. Now, if the people are done bemoaning that pesky innocent until proven guilty issue, perhaps I could begin my cross-examination. Fire away, baby. Fire away, baby. Reyes' testimony is meant to show that David's the only one who could have poisoned himself. She'll be on guard and hard set against helping me, but if I keep her focus on eliminating other possibilities, I could get her to make my point for me before she even realises what's happening. Ever seen poisoning himself? Could he have been poisoned off camera? Alright, let me just reread what what she just said. Eliminate other possibilities. Okay, so anyone else in the building, she'll say no. She'll say yes, there are other people in the building, but none who had access or something. That's the one I should probably avoid, because that's me directly trying to contradict her. So this is, yeah, so I'm going to go with anyone else in the building. The only people you saw on the cameras that night were Dr. Asher and the witness, correct? Yeah, there was no footage in the house of anyone else. Are there any parts of the house that aren't recorded by camera? Sure. There are a number of rooms in the home's interior that don't have cameras in them. So it's possible that there were other people there that night because cameras weren't watching every room. No, that's not possible. The only way up to the penthouse is through the building's elevator or the fire escape stairs, both of which are on camera. And that still wouldn't get past his front door, which is also on camera. No one besides the two of them were there that day. Do I press because it was a low number? No, I can come back to it. Could he have been poisoned off camera? Detective, isn't it possible that Dr. Asher was poisoned off camera? Possible? I don't know how else it would have been done. But that just goes to show it had to have been suicide. The only time he was off camera... Oh, fuck me. Really? Oh! I don't know if I'm bad at this or if this is confusing and difficult. Oh, God. I think the problem I'm having with this is it's the old bloody, like, Mass Effect dialogue problem. Which is, you present, like, a single line or a brief thing which summarizes multiple lines of dialogue. And the problem is you don't know what tone they're going to take with that. You don't know what they're going to say that isn't directly bloody written. And this is why when I play Fallout 4, I mod it so that it shows the entire dialogue so it doesn't have the Mass Effect dialogue problem. Because when you see something that's like, dispute, you know, are you going to go, I'm not sure that's entirely correct. I mean, it's the noir, like the liar option, you know. It's like, you're not sure if they're going to be like, I'm not sure that's entirely accurate, or you're going to go, you're full of shit. You know, you don't know what's going to be said unless it's all directly written out, which is why I'm fucking this up so much. And I don't entirely know why that was wrong. It's not where I wanted to lead the conversation. It might certainly seem that way, yes. Was he ever seen poisoning himself? We've been doing a lot of assuming and reasoning in quick succession, and I'll ask this plainly for the court. Is there any photographic evidence showing David Asher adding anything to his drink that night? No. Seems he had already poured for the both of them by the time he returned to the parlour. He had already poured? In that case, the next question needs to be when and what? Any poison in the kitchen? Detective Reyes, during the course of your investigation, did you find any samples of Delta in the kitchen or parlour? No. That was a fast answer. Well, it was a pretty easy question. If we'd found poison at the scene of the crime, that'd be pretty important, don't you think? What about in his lab, his bedroom, his basement? No, no, and no. We didn't find Delta or any other unusual substance in any part of his penthouse. Right, they never found any poison. No poison at all? Yes, press. The poison container, is this the salt? At any point in the investigation, was poison found on the body of the deceased? No. He must have been searched. Did he have any capsules or vials? Eyedroppers? Didn't even have his wallet on him. Why? Thank you for enlightening the court about this point, Detective. I only went bust once. What point? Well, I think it's strange, don't you, Detective? I mean, how could he possibly have poisoned himself without first procuring some poison? I'm not good at this. I did so well in the first episode 0, and this I'm just fucking it up. What do you mean, procure? Where did it come from, Detective? The poison that you're so sure was dissolved in his drink. Dissolved. That's the first use of dissolved. Every other mention of this has been, it's a liquid. That is the first hint we've had in this game that the poison itself didn't necessarily come in liquid form. This is leading up to the salt. It can't have come from thin air, you understand. It had to have been put in another container at some point. Whatever it was in before, it probably evaporated. All of it? It only took a single droplet to kill. Your Honor, are you going to ask them to keep it civil? In a minute, sure. There wasn't any pill bottle in his bathroom or syringe in his pocket containing this apparently deadly substance. So how did he get it? What did he keep it in? The police want to claim that Dr. Ash committed suicide because they've established that his guest never had an opportunity to kill him. But they failed to prove that the victim had the means to kill himself. Then I guess I'll be the one to move things along. The Delta didn't come out of thin air, Counselor. And it didn't come from a syringe either. Dr. Asher was able to drip the poison right into his cup. Straight from the source. Shit, that's way too specific to be a bluff. Allow me to submit into evidence Exhibit G. A piece of machinery found in Dr. Asher's laboratory. Ah, this is the chroma. Hang on. Yeah, it's got to be. She's going to be talking about the chromafuge. Okay, that's hard to refute. A piece of machinery found in Dr. Asher's laboratory. Sold under the product name Nanofacturer. Oh, I know this one. It's used in delicate scientific work to produce nanomachines, chemical compounds, and polymers. That's the machine I saw when Dawes gave me a tour of the production floor. Very good, Your Honor. It's a valuable tool in any scientific laboratory, and Dr. Asher was well acquainted with its use. As a matter of fact, he had a number of presets coded into it. No. Even the android can see where this is going. With just a few taps, he could reproduce any number of specific substances for his research, and any chemical his heart desired, really. You think Randock Mechanics would allow their product to be used to produce illicit chemicals? Using their Nanofacturer to make unlicensed drugs does go against their terms and conditions, so Dr. Ash's warranty is clearly null and void. But they can't hardcode their machines to prevent the production of a drug that hasn't been invented yet. That's... Dr. Asher died when his respiratory system failed because of a depressant overdose. For him, it would have been peaceful, like falling asleep. You see, he didn't need to commission a synthetic drug from some street vendor or order an exotic poison from overseas. He could produce Delta at any time in the comfort of his own home. A quick and painless death, readily available in under a minute at the touch of a button. Specifically, preset 19. Shit. Oh no! That's a good argument. Thought I actually had something for a moment there, but I was playing into Emma's hand the entire time. Seems like we're done with this witness, Your Honor. What was that then? Evidence? Okay. Exists for a compound identical to the substance found in his bloodstream. Which damn. I was about to say which means that Young would also have access to it, but it makes it a lot less likely that it was in the salt now. I suppose it probably could produce a salt-like substance. God damn. That's really thrown me. Seems like we're done with this witness, Your Honor. Yes, Mom. But before we move on, perhaps we should take a moment and put together a timeline of events as we know them. Not for me, of course, just in case someone else might need it. Simple enough. We know that Dr. Asher left the parlour and went down to the basement at 7:36 p.m. Got the revolver imagery. Look at the words. Embrace, refrain, seek, lose, keen, cast, tear, sow, silence, sneak. 404. Hate, war, peace, born, die, plant, pluck, kill, heal, break, build, weep, laugh, mourn, dance. Weird. We know that Dr. Asher left the parlour and went down to the basement at 7:36 p.m. That's where he got the whiskey and the cups they drank from. The cameras show him returning to the parlour to drink with the witness at 7:40 p.m. And of course we know he fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. Any objections so far, counsellor? No, because that's all proven by cameras. So it would be insane to say she has the timeline correct. Not at this time, no. The timeline you've described is accurate, as we know it. As you say, with this latest piece of evidence, we now know that Asher could have easily dispensed the poison directly into his cup by placing it inside the Nanofacturer, activating the preset and waiting 2 minutes. Easily accomplished during the 4 minutes he spent off camera from 7:36 to 7:40. I knew that would come in, but I did wonder whether that was be involved because it was too specific that it was so quick. Wouldn't you say? Ooh, a complete timeline of events. He had the means, he had the only opportunity. Seems we're about ready to wrap up here, no? Oh. Where are you on that loading bar of yours, Sarah? Adonai, I had a feeling you'd say that. Well, counsellor, are we done here? I don't know. The blind is so high. Let me have a look. Do I have anything? This water glass in the sink with her DNA and fingerprints on. It's got to be relevant. She hasn't explained why that's there. I don't know. I can't think of anything to refute here. But I also can't concede. I feel like I have to raise in order to keep this going, but I don't... Oh, I don't know. It's got to be missing something, but I don't know what. I feel like, based on this, if I stay, then it's over. I'll be conceding. I'll be saying her argument is foolproof, meaning I'm conceding that he was the only one with opportunity and therefore he did it. But, like, raising, this is another instance where, like, I feel like I have evidence. It's just whether it's something evidence I can bring in here, whether this is what we're talking about. Because we haven't heard from Young yet. I can raise and say her. I don't know. I don't know because I don't know what it's asking me, and I can't reload if it's asking me something different to what I think it's asking me. God, I'm having to fight the urge to, like, look up a guide for whether I lose the trial if I click stay. Because I'm leaning towards clicking stay, but the way this is phrased really sounds like We're done. No. There. I think I stay. Nothing she said is factually inaccurate. He could have done that. He had the time. It could have been accomplished. And Sarah's... the things it's missing are explaining certain bits of evidence. But I don't know that's going to come up now because, like I said, we haven't heard from Young. The evidence is Young-based. But I don't know that we're going to hear from Young. Okay. It sucks that I did this, but I looked up a guide, and this isn't the end of the trial, but it might be if I click stay. I don't know. The guide said don't, so I'm gonna click Reyes. I didn't look at anything else. It was literally just this one choice. So I still haven't had an answer about whether clicking stay is the end of the trial, but I'm gonna click Reyes. Sorry, I wouldn't normally look that up, especially when I'm playing on basically hardcore mode, but it's just because so many things so far have not been what I think they should mean, that I didn't want to just lose the whole thing by not understanding what's going on again. So I'm gonna click Reyes. Feels like we're missing at least one biggie here, folks. Namely, you see, I thought motive. I didn't say it, but I did think, like, that's the only thing she hasn't proven. She's proven method and opportunity, but not motive. But it's suicide. Like, psychology and stuff. Can you even... I don't know if you can prove that sort of thing. Anyway, yes, let's carry on. Oh, right. I knew that. I wasn't getting excited to finish early or anything. This is a preliminary hearing, Councillor. Our focus should be on the evidence, so it just feels like an awful waste of taxpayer dollars to get us all down here for a debate and not get into the truth of the matter, you know? So I was hoping we wouldn't have to go through this next part. What are you talking about? Your Honour, if it pleases the court. Ooh, new evidence, gimme. This is a recording of a phone conversation dated at 6:30 PM last night between the deceased and a man he was in a relationship with. A man called Isaac Porter. Porter and David's breakup call? If Emma wants to present it here now, then the content must be... Relevance, Your Honour? Yeah, that. What bearing does this recording have on the case at hand? It establishes what emotional state the deceased was in the day he died. Cool, begin playback. Hello? Oh. Oh. Always so soft-spoken. Oh, cool, we actually get to see David. Isaac, you there? Yeah, I'm here. On call. Pookie. What's wrong? Dunno, guess I wasn't expecting you to pick up. Why not? Did you mean to call me? Yeah, I did. You gonna ask me how I've been? Yeah, how have you been? Christ, David. What's the matter? Whatever it is, whatever I did, I'm sorry. Whatever you did? That's alright, man. You sure are sorry. I just don't want any more apologies from you. I'm so... Okay. And I don't think I want anything from you anymore, David. What do you mean? I shouldn't have done this. This was unnecessary. My bad, man, for not taking the hints. With you, it's always better left unsaid, right? More efficient that way, so you can keep working. Isaac, if I've been distant with you, or... Nah, you haven't been distant with me, or cold with me, or anything with me for a while now. Isaac. Just forget it, man. Forget I called. Forget it all, yeah? Let's just forget we were ever anything but strangers. That's all we are now, anyway. Isaac, recently I've been distracted, I know. Nah, don't worry about it. Really, we're good. Oh. Okay. So did you need anything, or should I Where did you even get this? All of Dr. Asher's incoming and outgoing phone calls were recorded by the building's penumbra system, and the recording continued for several seconds after each call was ended for quality assurance. Remind me to check the terms and conditions on my next phone bill. Also, just check the evidence. All phone calls recorded or made inside... Ooh, okay. That feels important. This is common knowledge. Interesting. Shall we hear the rest? Gotta be the last time. The last time I let someone... The last time. The last time. Father. Might just be a call, but it makes for pretty damning evidence at this point in the discussion. Emma's got her means, opportunity, and motive all lined up. So why is she looking at me like that? That was depressing. Can we finish up without anything else that horrible? Emma's never been apologetic in victory. So does that mean this is just... pity? Less than 2 hours before Dr. Asher died, Isaac Porter ended their relationship over the phone. The court can make a reasonable assumption about what kind of mental state Dr. Asher was in last night. That was a bad move, Miss Rockford. Then if the people have nothing further to add... I've been feeling off my game all day, caught between corporate inbreeders and ant-brain protesters and... But pitying me, here and now? That's all it takes to get my blood properly boiling. It's about time for me to call my first witness, no?